At least one of them. Of course, I've been here like the last 4 weeks,
you
and I
have,
know
so
you're
you're
getting sick of it.
No, you're not bad.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And so I know that next week probably it'll be maybe it'll just be you next week.
Okay, that'd be cool.
It's like
I don't mind talking for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like 10 little Indians. The Agatha Christie book. Everyone gets cut down, and then it's like you, and then you'll have more Papa John's pizza to munch on, and you can talk to
And just
random callers. You can pick who you want to blow up, and don't forget. I do want to go. Say one more time too. That, of course, we are doing the Wrestling Guys Year-End Awards for 2000, and you can send your votes into the Wrestling Guys at 101 Pine Street, Dayton, Ohio, 45402, or online.
Yes.
If you're on the computer, you can do it the Wrestling Guys at AOL.com.
and the IWA VCW thing this Saturday at Freedom Road Center. Just a reminder.
That's right, and OCW is in Fairborn at the Old Timers Banquet Hall. Give them a call at 229-8189.
That's right. All right.
See, I got a lot of stuff.
Are you ready to sign off?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
All right, it's time to say goodnight, and thanks once again for listening to the Wrestling Guys here on Buckeye Country 106.5. I don't know what kind of people, who we're going to have next week, but you're just going to have to tune in to see. See, it's that exciting. It's a little secret. But that's it for us. Good night, Dayton.
And now 106.5 Buckeye Country is proud to present Marty Adams and Shawn, the Wrestling Guys.
Welcome, Dayton. It is the Wrestling Guy. Actually, it's not even Shawn or Marty. It is me, Willie F.
You're not going to introduce me?
And Julia. Julia's here also. You know what? Not even snow, sleet, freezing rain can stop us from getting to the studio. We are here with you for 2 hours talking about wrestling. Of course, because otherwise, why else would you call the show the Wrestling Guys?
You're real quick, aren't you?
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be today, because it's either going to be a really good show or it's going to be a train wreck. And I'm going to go slice my wrists after doing the show.
Can you do that anyway?
Julia, I just got here. I braved the inclement weather. I braved the plague of white death that has got the city in the grips of its hands and will not let go. I braved all of that. The stuff that is keeping Shawn Stidham at home is keeping Marty Adams away from the studio, but yet Papa John's Pizza got here all right. So I don't understand that.
That's a good thing.
That's right. So we are here for 2 hours. Of course, we're talking about wrestling, as I said, and we're going to try to have some guests on. Shawn is going to call at some point within like 10 minutes or so, because I think the show's going to go down by that point.
So that means you have, like...
That's right.
8 minutes.
I want the official time countdown till Shawn calls in.
8 minutes, right?
And also, sometime around 8 o'clock, we'll have Les Thatcher from the Heartland Wrestling Association. We're going to give him a call and talk to him. But you know what? It's not the Wrestling Guys without a little bit of news, so I have a little bit of news right here in my hands. And I also have, do you see these? These are actual, do you see these?
Yes.
These are actual letters written in. Here. These are actually letters written in by the fans for the Wrestling Guys Year-End Awards. And we will... What? There's no funny pictures or anything. It's actually the letters that people wrote in. And, of course, we'll talk about those when Shawn comes on. Let's get into some of the news. Of course, I'm not going to go over a lot of stuff. If you didn't hear the full news update, of course, give the Wrestling Guys hotline a call at 285-0991. Hit option 1, and you'll hear Shawn give you a full rundown. This is actually stuff that I don't even believe he has on his hotline. The OVW show tonight, the big show, their big Christmas chaos show, canceled due to snow, and actually a lot of the WWF stars that were going to be on that show, like Steve Austin, I believe Rikishi, Chris Benoit, Jim Ross, they're all snowed in down in Louisville right now, and a lot of them aren't going to be getting out right now. And that's dedication to you. Just like I'm dedicated for being here tonight.
Stop patting yourself on the back, okay?
Well, you won't do it, so I'm obviously I'm going to have to do it myself.
I came further than you did. So.
Did you really?
Yes,
I drove 2 miles here.
Oh my God, I drove
through
like...
the treacherous treacherous white death.
Like 30-ish.
Yeah, but I had to go down a hill. Anyway, let's get into the news. Also, Matt Hardy is out with a shoulder. I'm sorry. He hurt his shoulder. The poor guy. He did work SmackDown. I don't think he's expected to miss anything else. However, one rumor that I'm hearing right now is that the Hardy Boys, I know this is going to hurt you, the Hardy Boys are going to split up.
Why?
Yes.
I like them together.
I'm sorry. The Hardy Boys are going to split up, but they will reform at WrestleMania 17 to take on Edge and Christian.
So then why are they splitting up?
Because they're going to tease that they're going to split up. They're going to go their separate ways. In fact,
So what's going to happen to Lita?
I don't know.
I mean, she's kind of like their escort.
Maybe she'll go with Dean Malenko.
Yeah, right.
All right, maybe not. All right, but I think it's actually, I think it's Matt Hart. No, it's Jeff Hardy, I think.
Which one?
He's taking on Chris Benoit on Raw this Monday.
With the funny color hair?
I think so.
That's Jeff.
Okay, yes. I think, well, I know which one it is. I just couldn't remember which one is actually taking him on. But they're going to take him on Raw on Monday, and then also at the Royal Rumble, they're going to sort of do like a... do you remember when WCW did that triple threat match where they had like 3 gimmick matches? It was Jeff Jarrett and versus Benoit, and they had like 3 different matches.
No,
you don't remember
but
that?
I haven't been watching WCW.
Okay. Well, see, then you're not a true wrestling fan. There's true wrestling fans who watch both.
Well, I preview WCW, and then it bores me, and then I change the channel.
I understand. But anyway, if anyone remembers that, the triple threat match, it was basically 3 matches with different gimmicks, and it looks like they're going to do something like that at the Royal Rumble. Another pay-per-view coming up is Starrcade this Sunday, so you're going to be watching that?
No.
You're not going to watch
The
that?
Simpsons are on. I have my priorities.
Do you know you could actually go to Washington, D.C. right now and buy the second-tier tickets, the $50 tickets? They are not
Really?
sold out yet. And WCW is really hurting right now because I guess the marketing department of WCW did not do a good job as far as publicizing this pay-per-view. I don't see how you could not. You know, you just say, okay, well, this is a big pay-per-view.
I've seen commercials. There was a commercial on it before Raw.
Yeah,
yesterday.
exactly.
I mean, I've seen commercials for it, so I know it's
but
coming up.
The tickets are not going that well for it, and so looks like there's going to be a lot of darkness in the theater, or in the arena.
Maybe
like they
it's
normally
not
do.
their promotions department.
That's good. It might be the booking. But
Probably the booking.
there is also a rumor though that Hulk Hogan will be at Starrcade.
Why did Terry Funk come back?
Terry Funk. You know what? I think Terry Funk has like nude pictures of somebody. He has to.
I thought he retired, and he shows up in a Santa suit.
I know.
And gave us 11 hoes.
It is a sad state of affairs watching guys that you grew up with, and as far as like watching guys that you went, wow, Terry Funk. I can remember great matches Terry Funk had, and then you watch them and they're doing things or dressing up in Santa suits.
Yeah.
But it's just a sad state of affairs overall. The overall wrestling realm, and we're going to talk about that though too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Later. Well, I might not talk about it to you. Later. No, I said later.
You said waiter.
I was chewing gum.
Then spit it out.
I can't. I love my gum.
But it makes you sound funny on the air.
All right. Well, I'll just put it underneath my tongue then. That's what I'll do. Okay. And also, Nitro. This Nitro. The little show that they got called Nitro.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Monday
the
Nitro
one
on
that
Tuesday?
should be on Monday, but then moved to Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, Nitro is in for a bad, I guess, string of shows
Are
here
they
coming
not
up.
showing up for like 2 weeks?
Yes. Do you know what's showing in its place?
No, actually, I don't know
Okay.
what's showing in its
All
place.
right. On the 25th, Christmas, instead of Nitro, you can watch A Christmas Story, which is a good film.
Yeah, though I've seen it play so many times.
It's not a bad film. It's a good film. And on the 27th, then, which is a Wednesday, you will have The Best of Thunder.
Isn't it like an
That's going to be like
I mean,
that's going to be like 15 minutes long.
I know.
And then on the 1st, instead of Nitro, instead of the wonderful WCW Nitro, you will have the movie Grease.
Are you... Grease just bumped WCW Monday Nitro.
That's right. John Travolta has bumped
Sting and Goldberg.
I think that's great.
Well, you know.
That's pretty sad.
So you can actually just sing along. Actually,
I like Grease, though.
It might be a better show.
It probably will be. The wrestling
wonder if
moves
people-
in Grease might be.
I wonder if
better.
people actually watch Grease and think
yeah.
that they're watching WCW. Like the Grease Lightning, and they'll just think that's a brand new angle. It could happen. Stranger things have happened. You know, people haven't
Like
been watching it for a
3 Count
while.
could be singing instead of John Travolta. Isn't that right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also do want to thank Papa John's. What are you making these things for? I'm struggling as it is here, and you are like making these little gestures. We want to thank Papa John's at the corner of Dorothy and Wilmington, and particularly Dana, the Papa John's pizza guy. And that's,
Yes.
I guess that's what Marty and Shawn have deemed him. Is that correct?
He is the Papa John's pizza guy.
Well,
I mean,
there's
he
more
was-
than one.
Not one Dana.
No, not one Dana. So, all right,
So
it's
it's
Dana, the
Papa
Papa.
John's
I got you.
pizza guy.
All right, anyway, you can call them up at 294-7272, and we want to thank them. Yes, we're going to get Shawn on the line right now. In fact, has it been 10 minutes?
It's been 11 minutes.
Really? See,
Oh,
I can stretch this show tonight.
Not without my help.
That's true. Couple of other things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the state of pro wrestling right now and whether you feel, and I'm going to ask Les about this too because I know he has a lot of opinions on it, whether you feel that pro wrestling is going to start going into a decline. Have we seen the peak of the WWF? Because particularly, I didn't think the WWF pay-per-view this past weekend was very good. I didn't think Raw was very good. And I'm wondering, either WWF is going to start a decline because all you have is the top-tier guys, The Rock, Steve Austin, Rikishi, Benoit. Actually, not even Benoit's not even on the top tier, but you have and The Undertaker. Like 4 guys that are basically at the top. Triple H. I would say 6 guys. 6 guys. The guys the guys that were in the main event are the top tier guys right now. And there's only so much storylines you can do with those 6 guys. And they're not elevating hardly any of the other people. See, you're taking my job. That's what normally I do. I just go, yes.
Well,
Yes.
Sean's on the line.
All right, well, go ahead and put him on.
Is it okay? Do you want him on?
Sure.
Sean, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
We're doing great, Shawn. We've managed to kill 12 minutes of quality airtime.
You talk about the state of wrestling. What about the state of the show? My goodness.
What
You
are
know
you
what?
saying?
You could have braved the weather. Obviously, Shawn, you do not care about the fans of this show or the fans of this hotline as much as I do. You do not care about coming on and saying that we are sponsored by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann and Schultz, 1-800-INJURED, put a tiger on your team. You do not care about this, Shawn, because otherwise you would have put on, you put on one of those little rubber parkas.
Yes.
You would have put on your little galoshes.
Yes.
And you would have braved the elements as both Julia and I did.
Dude, you live 2 minutes from the station.
That is a long 2 minutes and is down a very steep hill.
You and I, in all seriousness, you and I talked the last couple of days.
Yes, we did.
And
actually.
I was all over the place. I was out of the state for a little while and came back and forth. And I live about 30, 45 minutes from the station. And I got back about 20 after 6. And I was going to try and actually make it up, and then it started sleeting and freezing rain where I'm at.
Right.
And it was like, I don't think so. And I don't.
We have a little bit of that outside though right now, but
And
it's
I
it's
think-
not the white death that we heard was going to come.
And I think
Oh, I
Sam's
know.
going to be by a little bit later, and Les is going to be on. So I said, you know what?
Right.
Willie's a wrestling guy. He can handle this. I've done the show by myself. You can do the show by yourself.
But he's not by himself.
But see, I'm not as long-winded as you are, though, Shawn. That's the only
That's
problem.
true. Sean is pretty long-winded.
That's the major difference.
Willie, I've heard your hotline reports.
Oh, that's
Average
true.
length
All
of
right.
time of the hotline reports, you have like 2 minutes on me. Very easily.
All right. Well, that's because I just care, and I want to give the people every little bit of information that I can give to them.
You want to give the people a big shout-out tonight.
No, there are no shout-outs tonight. In fact, if anyone even attempts to do a shout-out tonight, Julia has the command to blow them up. Now, you can decide if they get a shout-out or not.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You know, Shawn and Marty never give you this kind of free reign on the airwaves. And I have decided I have decided in the spirit of the holiday season to give to you some, a little bit of the show.
Thank you so much.
Sean, I really wish you were here. This
Yeah,
is just
I'm
killing
wondering.
me.
We'll be back together next week, Willie.
Oh, all right.
Hopefully. You'll survive tonight.
Anyway, I know you have things to talk about.
Oh.
And I know you're a busy man.
Yes, I am.
As you sit there, probably snuggled up in front of a nice warm fire under, a couple what's
Blankets?
No, I didn't want to do Afghans. I wanted Afghans.
Wanted
See?
Afghans.
Yeah, I was going for Is there a thesaurus in here or anything that I can look at?
So.
The scary thing.
Sorry, we don't have that handy.
All right, thank you.
Right before I came on the air, I was flipping around the TV, and guess what's on right now?
What is on right now?
The iGeneration pay-per-view.
That is why you wanted to stay home.
It's not because of the weather.
No.
The iGeneration pay-per-view. If you want to see, quite possibly, the worst pay-per-view of all time, spin your... No, don't...
I don't know.
Later.
You've got Heroes of Pro Wrestling that's right up there.
That's a toss-up.
I would say so.
Maybe with the listener awards, somebody can chime in. What was the worst pay-per-view? Heroes Wrestling
good
or
idea.
the iGeneration? That's a good category.
Hey, Sean, real quick.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break and then come right back to you because I know that you're not done.
Oh,
And I know that you cannot just go through one break.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back here on The Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5. Welcome back to The Wrestling Guys. This is Willie F. with you. Shawn Stidham on the phone on assignment, should we say?
Where do you want to
No,
sign me?
he's at home.
Oh, yeah, he's at home.
On assignment.
Because he's a big wuss.
I just got back. I couldn't.
From where?
By the time I made it up to the studios, you know that the show would already be over.
All right. I'll give you that. That's fine.
Okay.
Hey, I have to do something real quick because I promised.
Go right ahead.
Okay. I do have to give one shout out though.
Oh.
Because I'm entitled to do one.
Okay, only one.
I have to
though.
give a shout out to my son, Graham, who's listening,
Oh.
and who has done really well in school the past 2 days.
Aw.
And so I told him that I would say his name over the air, and now he needs to get back to doing homework.
Oh, that is so cute.
Okay. All right, Sean, go ahead.
Good, Dad.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Sean, what do you got?
Well, a couple things we want to promote. First of all, of course,
Yes.
you heard the little thing there about the contest. The Wrestling Guys Listener Awards 2000
Do
is...
you want to hear some of these?
In
too?
a minute, but let me get the details out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What you need to do is you can either email the Wrestling Guys at thewrestlingguys@AOL.com, or you can send to the radio station a letter. Julia, what's the address?
Man, I forgot the zip code
Here,
again.
I've got it right here,
Oh,
Sean,
good.
in front of me.
Way to
I was
save Julia
prepared.
there, Will.
Here you go, Julie.
I'll do it.
All right.
The Wrestling Guys, 101 Pine Street, Dayton, Ohio, 45402.
Way to go. There are 4 categories that you must vote on. Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Match of the Year, and also Independent Wrestler of the Year. Now, among these, we also encourage you to come up with your own awards.
Which
And
a lot of people did.
absolutely. And you have some of those with you right now.
Yes, I do.
Well, read some of them.
Oh, which do you want? Do you want the wrestler? Do you want the ones that are just made up?
We're just going to do we'll do just the made-up ones right now.
Okay, the made up ones. My unofficial awards, let's just say the blank of the year. Mark Madden, after he said after Pillman Show he should be shot. The hotline caller of the year, Bear Dog.
Bear Dog.
Who?
Bear Dog.
Okay.
Well, and it's funny because this is actually Bear Dog's voting.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
Imagine that.
So Bear Dog actually voted for himself. I guess you can do that.
Yeah,
Good.
but it's not cool.
Oh, wait, and it's because he always asks the question that everyone needs to know of when is Terry Runnels going to be in Playboy? And you know what? That's a good question.
We had a few via email also, including Sore Loser of the Year, Al Gore. And that's not my own political viewpoint. I'm just reading what was sent to us.
See, and I'm not I did not concede to do the show tonight.
I know.
Okay.
And the honorary Chunky Butt Award, Mark Madden. I got a feling Madden's going to show up on a lot of these.
I think so. Actually, he does show up on a lot of these, believe it or not.
But
And a lot of these we can't say on the air.
Well, what we do is on the final show of the year, December 27th, Of course, we're going to be against the Best of Nitro, or Thunder, excuse me. But what we're going to do is have some prizes to give away, some various items from THQ, some autograph stuff, just a plethora of prizes. And we give those out. We honor the winners. We read some of the funny awards. We also, whoever wins the Listener of the Year, Caller of the Year, we always invite them into the studio as well. So it's a great time. It's a good time, and hopefully everybody can get their nominations in.
And you know what? There are a lot of votes right now for Benoit and Regal at Pillman.
I am hoping that wins. I mean, normally I won't come out here and say, please vote for this or not, because I don't want to influence anybody. But certainly that match, and again, very few people actually got to see that live when you compare it to matches you see on pay-per-views and on Raw and Nitro and whatnot. But the intensity of that match, and it was such a special moment. And I know you're going to have Les on later. I'm sure he'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was such an incredible energy. And you and I got to see it from a different perspective because we got to go in the back afterwards. And when you saw all of the other wrestlers that were at Pillman, we're talking Diamond Dallas Page, Kevin Nash, Ricky Steamboat, all the other radicals that were there. And they all come up and they're giving them a standing ovation in the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was simply an amazing, especially given of what Steven Regal has went through in his life, and now to see where he is and everything he's battled and overcome, you kind of hope that maybe in a year or two we can have that same kind of feel-good thing about Scott Hall. I just don't know if that's going to happen or not. But certainly, it would be a great testament to what William Regal has went through and to what the Pillman event was this year. It was just a magical night.
I think those are two different mindsets, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that the WWF is starting to elevate William Regal into what appears to be, at least it appeared on Monday to be, a main event status.
Yeah, and William Regal was a guy who in WCW, let's face it, he was kind of boring there, and it's interesting to see them take that boringness of him and make it into a very compelling character. It just goes to show you how great the World Wrestling Federation is at developing characters, even though lately I think they've kind of fallen off the wagon with guys like K-Quick and the new reincarnation of the Road Dogg, and certainly the one Billy Gunn, I think, has been a failure to this point as well.
Well, that's one of the things I want the callers to talk about tonight, because really there are only 6 major players in the WWF.
Right.
And everyone else is a second-tier puppy right now. And pretty much there's only really one storyline that's really going through the WWF right now. And that's it.
Yeah, and the one thing about that, too, is we've seen this before. And I think I touched on this last week. If not, I'll do it now. And, of course, I repeat myself a lot so I can... This is just like par for the course.
I'll just try to tune you out the way that I always do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But when Vince McMahon originally became Mr. McMahon, the World Wrestling Federation was in second place. They needed something to jump-start it, and that was effective. Now that the WWF is on top, I don't think we need to see Mr. McMahon versus Mick Foley, Vince McMahon versus the WWF. And I think that the entire Vince versus Linda angle is too soap opera-ish for wrestling. And I think I don't want to say that this is going to bring down the WWF, because I don't know if it actually will. But certainly, at least for me, and I think for a lot of other people, the way they're going right now, it's not as entertaining as it was 6 months or a year ago.
I agree, and it's either going to be a case of WCW is going to pick up the ball and run with it. Julia, don't laugh on that. I'm being very positive WCW today. Or it's going to be that wrestling is going to start slagging off a little bit.
Well, WCW, I do not think we're going to see them pick up the ball until the company is sold.
I agree with you.
The people that are there right now, they don't have the long-term commitment because they don't know if they're going to be working there next week, much less in 2 months.
Sure.
So right now they're just kind of throwing things out there, and I think tonight's Thunder is a perfect example. I know we don't normally give away a lot of things, but I'm going to mention this. One of the storylines tonight on Thunder is that Sid is in his car and cannot find his way to the building. Now, most of us know Thunder is taped immediately following Nitro. So all the people that were there in the building on Monday when the shows were actually taped, they're kind of confused because, wait a minute, Sid was just out here on Nitro and now he's lost? That makes no sense. No sense at all.
You always wonder why they do things like that.
And the other thing, too, about,
Or why couldn't they just play that storyline out on Nitro
That
and then
would've
have the
made more
match
sense.
happen on Thunder?
That's a great point. That's a great idea. The other thing, too, is that Time Warner right now certainly is not showing a commitment to WCW.
Absolutely
With
not.
the way they're preempting them for David Copperfield, which drew,
1.75.
A 0.75 less than what Nitro normally does.
Exactly.
And then you're going to bump them on New Year's Day for Grease? I mean, Christmas Story, okay, fine. It's Christmas.
But Grease is a feel-good movie.
It is.
What
And
the
you
hell
tap
does
your
Grease
toes
have
to
do
it.
with New Year's Day? There's
It's
no
got
tie-in
it's got
there.
Olivia Newton-John in leather.
Dude, Olivia Newton-John leather, I'm all into that. But I don't know.
Actually, I'd rather see Leah Meow, though,
Yeah,
when she comes out in leather,
Exactly. I mean,
than Olivia Newton-John.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what I do here. I share. You people, you know what? That's the problem with this show. You people don't share enough. I will not hide anything from the audience. When they call up 457-1065, I will tell them exactly how I feel. I will tell them exactly how I feel about them. Because that's the kind of guy that I am.
Oh, my gosh.
That's good.
This is going to be the best rated show. When are the Arbitrons coming back out? Because this is going to rock. What else you got, Shawn? I know you got. You want to talk about the women's training camp
With
that Julia is going to go to.
Yes, she is.
She thinks that we forgot about it, but we didn't.
The Heartland Wrestling Association, along with the wrestling guys, we are putting together a free ladies wrestling clinic. It's going to be Saturday, January 27th, 2 to 4 in the afternoon. It's going to happen down at the Main Event Pro Wrestling Camp. And basically, any female wrestler, valet, or someone that just wants to find out what it's like, you get to go down, get in the ring, do some training, take some bumps, learn a little bit about what it's like to actually get in the ring and perform. The registration is limited, so you have to call in.
But for Julia, we are picking up the expenses as far as her registration fee.
For Julia?
Yeah.
It's all free.
Oh, well, I know. That's why we're picking it up.
Okay. Julia, Merry Christmas. But 513-771-1650 is the phone number, and sign up and get registered. And again, you do have to be female. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You tell Joe over in the other studio he can't dress up this time. I think what we'll do is we're going to put...
Hello? Ooh, I don't know if we got a bad connection here.
What was that? It's the White Death. People, I'm telling you right now, there is something in the snow right now, because before we started, I'm going to say, before we started, the board went down.
The board
We didn't even know if you were going to have a show tonight.
I know. I was panicking. It was pretty
You and
scary.
I were the only ones that could brave it. Now we lost Shawn, right? Shawn, are you there?
No, he's
Shawn is gone.
I don't. There must have been some sort of interference. Someone else must have been trying to. Oh, what it was?
Someone was probably trying to tap in
Well,
to
yeah,
Shawn.
we have the lines crossed. I don't know how.
Okay.
But he was there, but someone else was coming over, so I had to drop him.
All right.
Sorry,
well,
Shawn.
I don't think he had anything more important to say anyway.
Well, if he
I think it
calls
was
back,
bad.
he
Yeah,
calls
if he
back.
calls back, he calls back.
I just don't want to mess with the line in case
True.
it happens again.
And you can call back at 457-1065, because we will take your phone calls, because you know what? This is a talk show, gosh darn it. And we are here to, of course, talk to you. We want to talk to you about what you feel about pro wrestling right now, how you feel that pro wrestling is progressing. Do you feel that it is now going through a decline? And are we going to be in a situation that we are going to have a real stagnant period coming into the year 2001? Also want to talk to you about what you thought about the pay-per-view at Armageddon, what you thought about Raw, what you thought about Nitro. And we will take your calls and get into much, much more right after this break. You're listening to the Wrestling Guys Hotline on Buckeye Country 106.5. Welcome back to the Wrestling Guys Hotline. Willie F. with you here till 9 o'clock. And the Wrestling Guys is brought to you by Buckeye Country 106.5 and also Dyer Garofalo, Mann and Schultz. Put a tiger on your team. Offices all over the Miami Valley. In fact, if you just walk outside your door, probably turn left, turn right, you're probably going to run right smack dab into one. Call 1-800-INJURED. Put a tiger on your team. And I understand we have Shawn
back on the line, Shawn.
This is the Wrestling Guys Hotline.
I know, I said that, all right? You got to understand, I'm not used to bringing us back. You know, we don't have any bumper music on the hotline.
I know. I know. There's no music on the hotline.
There's no music, that's right. The music throws me, Shawn. And the white death that is just permeating the building. I swear the white death is chasing me right now.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it? Is it Marty under a sheet or what?
It might be, because, you know, there's a skylight, like, in the studios.
Right.
And we can actually see the white death forming.
Wow.
And trying to get in. And it's a very frightening experience right now.
I can imagine. I feel for you.
So, Shawn, we didn't mean to cut you off, but it was really funny. But
what was that?
I have no idea. I think there was Joe down in the other studio was trying to call a 900 number at the time, and
Didn't
I
he
think
get
the line
reprimanded last week for that?
He did, but he was charging it to his credit card and not to the station, so they really couldn't do anything at that point.
Oh, well, that's fine.
So what else you got?
A couple of other notes. In case you did not call the Wrestling Guys hotline, you should have, but anyway. Sporting News has named Vince McMahon the number 58 most powerful person in all of sports.
That's pretty impressive, actually, when you think about it.
That's not bad. He finishes ahead of guys like Shaquille O'Neal. He also finished ahead of Bob Costas. Although they did not put Vince there because of his power with the World Wrestling Federation. It's because of the XFL. So.
And Shaquille O'Neal is behind him because of Shazam.
How long has Vince and Shaq did a movie? He needs to do another movie.
Yeah, you're right. His career was really picking up there.
It was. Also, the World Wrestling Federation and UPN are going to get together and put on a new TV show called Manhunt. And, Willie, I know you were a Survivor buff, so you may get into this.
Yes. This is actually where... Don't they send people out into, like, the field, and then they have people chase them?
Absolutely.
Something like that?
What it is, according to the press release, the series will pit a team of WWF-style bounty hunters. I guess they'll hit you with chairs or DDT.
They're not going to be dressed up like Doink the Clown, are they?
God, I hope not.
Wait, Julia has something that she wants to say, and it might be important, so we better let her get it out.
She's so annoying. Anyway.
Julia really... Shawn, Julia really hates me.
Willie, you have to understand, we work for Julia.
I know. I'm sorry.
Julia is the dominating force of the show.
I bow before Julia.
You were talking about, like, Vince McMahon was rated whatever. I missed that whole part. But anyway.
Thanks, Julia. Nice plug for the show. The producer's not even listening. That's good.
I was answering phones. Now, what do you want me to do? No, but that brought to mind that in Stuff Magazine, I don't know if you guys get that.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Did you talk about that already? And
No,
I missed it? Oh, he was voted number 7 of the 100 most dangerous men on Earth.
The most dangerous man
Yes,
on Earth.
I did hear that.
It was a little comic thing, but he was ahead of Bill Gates, but didn't beat out, like, Al Gore or George Bush. But he was ranked, like, number 7 out of 100 most dangerous men on Earth. So
I think Al Gore is going to demand a recount on that, too.
So we wanted to win that really bad.
Okay, can we go back to Manhunt?
Yes, please, go back to Manhunt. Because I know you're always into hunting men.
Sean?
Sean's into hunting men, so we want to talk about Manhunt.
Stop that.
All right, I'm sorry.
All right, anyway. The show is going to put WWF-style bounty hunters against contestants. Both sides will do battle in Hawaii on an expansive outdoor terrain. Each show will be shot over a 5-day time period. Contestants battling to elude capture as they move from one part of the island to another. The bounty hunters, they're going to be equipped with laser guns and other non-violent weapons. Who is the guy that shot David Spade with the taser gun? They ought to get that guy.
That guy. Yeah, that guy would be actually really good.
He would be excellent. Get Rodney King in it. That would be good.
I'd like to shake that guy's hand, though, that shot David Spade. I know that's off topic, but...
Anyway, what they're going to do is play out the game, and then after they get done, they're going to sit around and talk about what happened. Like a feel-good session.
Hey, you remember that time when I shot you with the taser and, like, it went in your eye? That was cool.
Anyway, the show does not have a release date yet. However, UPN has agreed to show 6 episodes. Who watches UPN besides SmackDown anyway? I mean,
yeah, but aren't they going to? They're going to do all the advertising blitz on SmackDown, and it's supposed to be on Friday nights, I think. From what I heard,
yeah,
they're going to put all the major emphasis on SmackDown. Say, hey, watch this, watch Manhunt, and then Manhunt will be on Friday nights.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, SmackDown is the #1 show. that would be the best place to advertise it. One other thing I want to touch on, World Wrestling Federation had a major scare on their website over the last couple of days. The Register website, which is a kind of a consumer news thing over in London, from what I understand, they discovered that the Windows server, which was running the WWF.com website, you could easily pull up all of the customers' information and find out what they bought.
Just what they bought, though. You couldn't pull up, like, their credit cards or anything like that. But, like, if, say, when Julia placed her order for, the, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something funny, and I can't right now. Cause
it doesn't work now.
Because she's staring at me.
She's waiting. She's just like, what do you
I'm just waiting.
I can't even think of anything. I was going to say, like, a foam finger. Or...
The Hardy Boys foam?
Huh?
The Hardy Boys foam finger?
The Hardy Boys foam finger.
She likes that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Okay, keep talking.
Okay.
But anyway,
you could have got Andy something off that, too.
Like what?
A T-shirt.
A T-shirt.
Well, have you found Andy yet? I mean, are you still looking on the milk carton?
Okay, back on topic now.
All
Back
right,
on
good,
topic.
yeah, that's
Come
right.
on now.
Yes, good idea.
You told me to keep you guys in line.
Okay. But, yeah, you could find out, like, what somebody bought. You could see, like, for example, Cam Collins, he bought a Pat Patterson T-shirt. Okay? You could see that. You couldn't see Cam Collins' credit card number, but you could see that Pat Patterson, or Cam Collins has the Pat Patterson T-shirt.
He's going to hate that he wasn't here, isn't he, now?
That's what you get.
That's right.
And then one other thing I want to mention, Friday night Unified Championship Wrestling, they are going to do a live viewer call-in, DATV Channel 20, I believe, starting at 7 o'clock. You can call the UCW hotline for more details. Hopefully, I will be on there for that, so I'm trying to work out a scheduling thing right now, but I'm hoping to be a part of that call-in.
Nice little self-plug for you. And
Yeah,
also, there's a couple independent shows coming on this weekend.
Yeah, you've got, what?
WCW is in Springfield, I believe, at the
Freedom
Road
Yep.
Center. See, I already knew that, though.
Yeah.
But I said it before you did.
All right, that's fine.
How much are
Go
the
ahead.
tickets?
Go ahead, Julia. Go ahead, take it.
What?
Go ahead.
You want me to say it? Okay,
Yeah.
the IWA VCW is this Saturday at Freedom Road Center in Springfield. You can buy tickets at the door for $10 or advance for $8.
Is that it?
Yes, well, that's
Well,
one
you-
thing
you
that I
can go to
have.
their
I don't know the other ones.
You can go to their website,
Okay, you can go to their
violentchampionshipwrestling.com.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you, Shawn.
Oh, and then OCW, again, they have a show Saturday, Fairborn.
That's in Fairborn at the Old Timers Banquet Hall, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
and I think they are also going to take donations for the Dr. Creep Christmas Smiles charity as well, so you may want to check that out. And that's all I've got. So, Willie, again, thank you for surviving the White Death. And
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I am a trooper. I am a man's man. And
Okay, stop. You're making me nauseous.
Real quick, don't forget.
Julia, there are no mirrors over on your side. You can't possibly be nauseous.
Get your entries in for the Wrestling Guys 2000 Listener Awards. Email thewrestlingguys@AOL.com.
And we will shake them on the air just like this.
All right.
There you go.
Like
and
that.
then we'll, at the end of the year, December 27th, we'll recap that. And Willie, have a great show. I know you got Les Thatcher coming on a little bit later.
That's right.
A plethora of other fun activities.
That's right. And we haven't taken one phone call yet, and we've been able to kill absolutely 42 minutes right now.
That's because Sean's been tying up our phone line.
Shawn, you got to go.
I have to go.
The
Okay.
people need to speak.
Well, and let them speak and lead them to the promised land.
We will try to do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Do we have a call?
We have 2 calls.
We have a call we can go to? Go ahead.
Did I just say we had 2 calls?
You have two. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Devlin from West Carrollton on line 1.
What's up, Devlin?
What's up, Willie?
What's going on? What's on your mind tonight?
What's this? Are we actually going to see Mick Foley retire?
I don't think so. Actually, I think that I think you're going to see Mick Foley actually come back into the ring. And I don't know if he wants to come back into the ring.
Why?
Hear me out on this one. I think this is going to be one of those things that's going to play all the way up to WrestleMania. And you're going to have Mick Foley take on Vince McMahon.
That kind of hinted something at Raw, didn't it?
It did.
In a way, I mean, if you...
It did, and or maybe they're going to have Mick Foley's going to be in one corner and Vince is going to be in the other corner, because I really don't want to see Mick Foley get back in the ring.
No, I like him as commissioner.
I think he's great as that. I think that he's going to remain healthier in that capacity, and I'm really worried that. See, it just seems that every time that Mick Foley goes out to a match, he's always wanting to top himself, and I think that it would be a shame, if right now, I mean, the guy can barely walk. I mean, anyone who's seen like Beyond the Mat or actually, not even be able to walk.
Yeah, being totally paralyzed.
Right. So I'd rather not see him go out and do something. It's sort of like the same thing with Terry Funk. I would like to remember Mick Foley for what he has already given us, and he's given us more than a lot of people in the business ever will. So I would much rather remember him for that than, oh man, look at him, he can barely walk.
Look, he's back again.
Yeah,
exactly. Because like when I saw Terry Funk on Nitro, I'm just like, what is he doing back?
Exactly.
What is this? And it's like, just go away. You retired how many times and you keep coming back? And not that the whole storyline with Mick was that he was forced to retire, but I like him a lot better. Well, we all knew he was going to, but I like him better as the commish.
I agree. Devlin, you still there?
Yeah.
Hey, Devlin, I want to ask you, what do you think about pro wrestling now? I mean, are you still enjoying it as much, or do you think it's starting to show signs of wear?
Well, I think WCW is just going down more deeper. They dug themselves in a rut and can't get out.
Well, the one good thing about that is, there's only so far I think that they can go, and either then they're going to go away or they're going to go up. So
that's true.
That's one way to look at it.
And for WWF, I kind of agree with you about only there's like 6 superstars, but yet they got a whole locker room of great talent. They're not showing the fans what they can really do.
So what would you do? I mean, what kind of things, if you could book it, what would you do to change WWF? I mean, do you see like one guy that you would pick and say, hey, this is the guy that I think can be the superstar tomorrow, and then take the company and actually go out there and battle, Steve Austin and The Rock?
Well, there's quite a few guys back in the locker room. K-Quick, for instance.
Okay.
Jericho.
I think K-Quick is actually a good talent and a really bad gimmick right now.
They need to get him away from Road Dogg. Put him by himself.
I agree. Who else?
We got Jericho.
I agree, but see, what I don't understand is they build up guys like that. They build up a guy like Chris Jericho. They build up a guy like Chris Benoit. They put him in a main event or a semi-main event, and then they go right back down as soon as they lose. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Because you want to know what I think about that?
What's that?
I could be way off, but I think maybe the guys complain so much they want some sort of push. They do that.
That's possible.
They do that just to make them happy for that time, for the time
Yeah,
being.
say,
what I mean?
that's what we're going to do for you.
Okay, we'll give you a WWF shot just so that people know, and then you'll stop complaining for like a couple
But then
weeks.
they're buried again. They're buried in mediocrity again.
I think that right now, you can only have so many like superstars and so many mid-carders, and
yeah, but at the same time, don't you remember when WWF, where there was intertwining storylines going on, and there was like 4 or 5, and that's what we started watching WWF for. Anyway, that's where the popularity came from, is because everyone that was in all the matches made sense.
Yeah.
In other words, there was actually a match for something, and all the storylines made sense, and they intertwined the stories, and the stories were compelling, and you cared about every single match, and you really wanted to watch the pay-per-view because you thought that there was going to be a resolution to every single match. But it seems that they've run out of resolutions to come up with, and so now they're just putting guys together on a whim. I thought the entire, Armageddon was just stuff that was thrown together. Devlin? I agree with you. Devlin, thanks for calling. We got to get to a break, and when we come back, more of your phone calls and more of Julia. And that's, of course, what everyone wants here on The Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5.
Welcome back for another week. 5 days till Christmas, a week away from the biggest Wrestling Guys show of the year, the 2000 Listener Awards. Willie F., are you excited?
I am so excited. I'm like, well, I can't say that.
Have you ever listened to this show? Yes, you can.
No, I can't, because Jillian gets really upset and starts throwing me some mean looks.
I don't know if it's upset, I would call it. I think it's maybe, happy.
No, you don't understand. You weren't here last week.
That's true. By the way, thank you for doing such an admirable job last week. Filling in, did a great job.
Well, thank you.
It was great.
Well, thank Julia too, because Julia was a great person to talk to.
You and I simply work for Julia.
I know, you're absolutely
producer.
right.
She has all the power.
That's
we
true.
just come in, we blab for a little while. Without Julia, I mean, we're just gone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
just two guys talking.
Absolutely.
Are you guys done sucking up now?
Yes.
Well, we want to make sure you're getting something really good for Christmas, so we thought
Yeah,
we'd come in
that's
and
right.
Couple last-minute ask-kisses
That's right.
we heard,
Sure.
so...
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, but again, a week from tonight, the Wrestling Guys 2000 Listener Awards, and we're going to have some of the winners on.
Really?
Yes, we are. That is already done, set.
Wow.
Although, I mean, we have a pretty good idea on a couple of categories who's going to win. There's
You
a
can't
couple,
announce them, though.
No, there's a couple of categories which
Can
are
you give
right
a hint?
now runaway. You're not winning.
Oh.
Not that you're really eligible for anything.
I'm not. I'm not eligible for anything.
You're not Wrestler of the Year. You're not
No.
Match of the Year. You're
No.
not Tag Team of the Year. You're not
No.
Indie Wrestler of the Year.
No.
So, I mean, you're not eligible.
That's
I'm
all
not
right.
either. So that's okay.
That's all right. Just, knowing that I'm here to look over them is good enough for me.
But don't forget, email us, thewrestlingguys@AOL.com, or send it here to the radio station. You have until next Wednesday at 5 o'clock to get it in here. The Wrestling Guys, 101 Pine Street, Dayton, Ohio. Julia?
Come on.
Come on. This is,
It's like a
I'll
pop
make it
quiz
really
every
easy
week.
for you.
Okay, 45402.
Thank you.
That is so
And,
sad.
And,
I don't live here. So
I know,
why
but
would
when
I
you
have
do your
to know?
taxes and stuff, I mean, do you?
I don't do my taxes.
Oh, you
all
don't
right.
do taxes.
Well, no, I do taxes.
We
I
might
just
want to
don't
call
do-
Diet Garofalo, man.
I
and
just,
Schultz.
I
We
just
might
don't
need
do
those
my
guys,
own.
yeah.
All right.
See?
But, looking at some of the awards we've got in so far, and again, we also encourage you to make up your own awards.
Absolutely.
Come up with some kind of category. We've got Caller of the Year. That's always a big one.
Yeah.
Courtney wrote in, she thinks Woodchuck should be Caller of the Year. Best Bleeder of the Year, Steve Carino.
I would have to agree with that.
And
That's old school bleeder.
You got a couple here. Interview
It
of the
is.
Year.
That's old school. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
She's like laughing over there. See, this is what we get from the new generation of wrestling viewers. All right, that's old school bleeding. What he's doing is old school bleeding. He's got the blonde hair, bleeding in the blonde hair to turn it red. Old school.
Does he know what he's doing there? Because there are so many scars on his forehead, and I don't see any.
That's like.
Is that supposed to be there?
That's like stripes for a sergeant in the military.
Okay.
I was going to say it's like rings on a tree.
Exactly.
Yeah, how many
Good
matches that you've
analogy.
had?
Good analogy. But we got an email from Greg. Seen him yet?
No. I didn't
You
get.
need to go down like
I
one of
didn't
the
get down
free
there.
Tuesday HWA shows.
No, I had my son yesterday, so I couldn't go down there.
I heard your son. That's weird. Anyway.
No, but I have to say hi to him again.
Oh, go ahead.
Real quick. Hi, Graham. How you doing? All right, now you can stay up.
Can we get a sponsor
Last
for
day
that
of
part of the show?
Really? Do you want me to pay money so I can say hi to Graham?
Can we get toy? No. I think we could get. It's a money-making opportunity.
You're right.
We get Toys R Us or somebody, some kid thing to tag onto that.
Sure.
That would be great.
Sponsoring my hellos.
They put on some pants award, Rikishi.
Yeah, but that's his gimmick.
He's kind of lost without that, isn't he?
I think he is.
Yeah. Hottie of the Year, Julia.
Julia.
Julia. It's right here, black and white.
Julia, you got Hottie of the Year.
It's right there. It's right there. Greg sent that in.
Is that Andy's email address, huh? He's got sent that in?
Invisible Man at Hotmail. Yeah, it is.
Ah, there you go. No wonder.
Let's go ahead and get right into the news. OneWrestling.com reporting that the Road Dogg is going to take some time off from the World Wrestling Federation to deal with personal problems. He did work the Jack taping on Monday night, but was not at SmackDown last night. So,
is that like a yearly thing for him?
It's his annual personal problems. Yeah. Well, the same thing happened. When was the Road Dogg appearance at Marty's store going to be? That was about a year ago.
Yeah, and it was personal problems then.
Personal problems then.
You know what? I think his family members are making fun of his gimmick.
Actually, no, that was earlier.
That's what it is.
That was earlier this year. That was around the same time the whole Chris Benoit and Shane Douglas.
You're
that
right.
was around the same time. So that was about January, February. So anyway, so he's going to take just when you're getting used to K-Quick and Road Dogg.
I was.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
I
I'm
was
gonna
getting
miss
used to
them.
Yeah.
Won't you?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Get rowdy.
K-Quick's still going to be there. He worked a singles match on SmackDown. So.
Is he going to be doing the Get Rowdy song?
I got it.
All by himself.
Maybe that's what led to Road Dogg's personal problem. Is
He has
his
to go into
gimmick.
therapy now.
I'm telling you, I think that's what it is.
He's going into therapy to deal with that.
God, that would put me in remission.
Another guy that's had personal problems lately, Davey Boy Smith. He talked with the Calgary Sun. He said that he is totally off of the painkillers and that for now he has no intention of getting back to the ring. That right there is deserves applause right
That's
there.
great.
But he said both his kids live with him. He's not on any drugs. The last time he took any drug was in July, and that was a painkiller given to me by a doctor in the hospital when I was having surgeries.
And it was a little chewable one, too.
And again, something we mentioned a couple weeks back, Davey Boy said he's considering opening up his own wrestling school.
Great.
So, yeah, Davey Boy was a talent at one time, but the injuries and everything else that contributed to that.
I don't want to take anything away from him, but you know what? The guy's down, and so it's pretty easy to kick him right now. And you know how much fun I have when they're down.
I know, but right now the guy says he's clean.
Which is good. I'm very happy for him as far as that
Giving
goes.
the benefit of the doubt. Speaking of guys who are clean or not clean, Scott Hall is still sitting in a jail down in Orange County, Florida.
No. Not Scott Hall.
Scott Hall looks like he's going to be spending the holidays behind bars. Last week he went in front of the judge. This was based on the incident a week or two ago where he kicked the cab door. Apparently, Scott and the cab driver had made amends. There was a settlement. They were going to work everything out. Scott was just going to pay a fine. Everything would be hunky-dory. Then the judge starts looking at Scott's recent record and says, you know what, you're going to the slammer. So his legal team flew down yesterday, and they're trying to work out something before the holidays. But if they don't, Scott's going to be there through at least the middle of next week.
You think he's still saying, or you think he's still throwing toothpicks at people and actually, hey yo's now, hey yo?
Still going by that nickname, the bad guy.
I'm sure he's a really good guy where he's at.
Ratings are in. Raw did a 4.8. Nitro did a 2.3. Both shows down because of the huge number Monday Night Football got.
Well, it was a great game.
Great game.
I didn't watch it.
The highest rated Monday Night Football game.
I heard it was a great game.
Okay.
You know what?
I have friends that I can talk to.
You have friends?
I will
Yes,
say
I
this:
do.
the game sucked. You know why?
Why?
Because I lost my fantasy football championship game because of that game.
Man.
I was torn.
Oh my gosh.
It was rough.
Here's a little dog that you can hold on to.
Thank you very
Little
much. I
stuffed dog.
appreciate
There
that.
you go. We'll put that over by you.
Puts a smile on my stocking up here. Thanks. Hey, this might be good for you. Now you can listen to the wrestling guys because I know how big a fan you were of Survivor.
Oh, yeah, I was, actually.
You were. And Dave Shear, I can't do the show this week. Survivor's on.
Survivor's on.
Yeah, well, now Survivor is going to be shown on Thursdays between 8 o'clock. Why do we mention that? Because that will be going up against SmackDown, which is right now a concern for the World Wrestling Federation. The World Wrestling Federation isn't too concerned about Friends. The crossover audience there doesn't really, it's just non-existent. But Survivor, on the other hand, if this Survivor 2 takes off like the first one did, it could pose some problems for SmackDown.
You know what they need to do? WWF needs to do.
What's that?
Naked Midian. Because then if they have the only naked fat guy and Survivor doesn't have one this year, that's
there
it.
you go, hands down.
That's it.
So you tune in for the naked fat guy?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's, I think that was a major draw.
Sorry, I'm coming over on your side.
I'm not sure if that's going to hurt them because people hopefully own VCRs and they can maybe tape Survivor.
Oh, that's
watch
true.
SmackDown.
Possibly.
I think more people would be inclined to tape SmackDown and watch Survivor.
I think more people would probably be inclined to watch Survivor and then watch Livewire or Superstars on the weekend. You can get all the best. The sad thing is, you get all the best moments. It's like it's like a cliff notes of the WWF on the weekend.
Exactly. Let's see. MTV is still showing their True Life. I'm a Backyard Wrestler.
I saw some of that last night.
I have yet to see that. Is it
I
good?
saw 5 minutes of it. I saw the last 5 minutes of it. No, seriously. No, you need to check this out because actually it's really downplaying backyard wrestling. And the mom was chewing this kid out for bleeding and actually got on the phone to the parents and was calling him up and saying, now you tell your dad how much you're bleeding in my house. I'm serious. It was great. And then these two guys, this one guy's going, well, you know what I do is an art. And this other guy's yelling at him, and that's how they end. With these two guys yelling these two backyard wrestlers yelling at each other.
The show is on tonight at 1 a.m. and also tomorrow at 8:30 p.m.
I'm watching it. I highly recommend it just for the last 5 minutes.
Preview of Thunder tonight. Chavo Guerrero Jr. against J.B. Noble for the Cruiserweight Championship. Bam Bam Bigelow and Crowbar. Conan versus Skipper. And also you've got Scott Steiner defending the WCW title against, ready for this?
Who is it?
The Cat.
Oh, come on.
Wait, one other
Didn't they
note.
already have that match?
One other note from Thunder. Bill Goldberg's streak may be in jeopardy tonight.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
He takes on Norman Smiley. I'm thinking,
Well, that's it.
Well, since they've already
Smiley's
announced the
gonna win.
pay-per-view, I don't think, or the next pay-per-view, Sin. Have you've seen the lineup for that? You haven't.
I've got it right
All
here.
right.
The lineup next month in Indianapolis. So if you want to head over and watch a WCW pay-per-view, I'm sure plenty of good seats will be available.
Yeah, you can wait till about 2 hours before and make that drive and get over there and get some good. Because where's it at? Is that at Market Square?
Indianapolis.
Is that Market Square? Is that what it's still called?
Market Square.
Okay.
Or no, Conseco Field. Well, I don't know because WWF runs Conseco Fieldhouse. I'm not sure if they have an exclusive on that building or not.
I would say they'd probably go to Market Square.
Yeah.
Is Market Square still around?
I think so. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure somebody will let us know.
I'm sure they will.
But as of right now, the lineup for the pay-per-view looks like this. A three-way dance for the WCW title. Scott Steiner versus Jeff Jarrett versus the Mystery Man.
I know who it is.
Tell you right now. Willie, go ahead.
I know who it is. And I told you who it was, too, when I saw him.
Oh, yeah.
Even though that was not him.
True.
The Mystery Man is Rick Steiner.
That's an equal
buy rates.
Exactly.
That's right there.
And if you're wondering, well, why isn't Rick Steiner the Mystery Man? He was off this week, and they decided to start this big storyline without him. And so Robbie Rage is playing Rick Steiner. So.
And that's why he was in a straitjacket, as they called him.
Other
called
matches.
Called it.
Other matches on the pay-per-view. Tag team titles on the line. Kevin Nash, DDP against the Natural Born Thrillers. Maybe. We'll talk about that situation later in the show. U.S. title, Shane Douglas, General Erection. Also, Terry Funk and Crowbar for the Hardcore title. Filthy Animals against Team Canada. And Bill Goldberg.
There you go.
Dwayne Bruce against Lex Luger and Buff Bagwell.
Okay, but what's the stipulation on it?
If Bruce gets pinned, Goldberg has to retire.
And that means because his streak's over then.
Exactly. And, well, he'll have to retire. And do you see a heel turn coming here?
So, obviously, Goldberg's not losing up until the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Goldberg's not losing the pay-per-view. SmackDown.
No, he's not losing until the pay-per-view.
Oh, exactly. Because the lineup.
I think he'll lose at the pay-per-view.
I do too. I think Bruce will get pinned.
He'll
on a
get
heel
pinned.
turn. It'll be similar to when Kevin Nash dropped the strap to Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
It'll be a pushing down, cover, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Because last week was when Sarge was actually supposed to do a heel turn,
right.
And Goldberg went to him and said, "Hey, look, the timing's not right yet. Let's hold off on this."
Right.
And they did. So obviously the plan is in place for the heel turn to happen. And given, I think its natural place to happen is at Sin.
Yeah. Okay.
Sin.
When no one's watching, that's exactly what should happen.
One other note, SmackDown tapings happened last night. Preview what you'll see. WWF Tag Team Title rematch. Undertaker and Rock taking on Edge and Christian with Kurt Angle as special guest referee.
Really?
Yes.
Is that the main? Is that the main event?
That's the main.
Okay.
Hardcore title, Raven and Blackman. Billy Gunn against Steven Richards. You've also got William Regal and Bob Holly in a European title match on guest referee night as Stone Cold Steve Austin will be having the little striped shirt on.
Well, that should actually be a good match.
Yeah, well, compared to Dudley's and Lowdown, yeah. So I love the Dudleys, but Lowdown's just...
Well, but both those guys in Lowdown aren't bad.
They're not bad. The whole gimmick's weak,
It's horrible.
It's interesting.
Tiger Alley Singh.
Right.
Why?
Couple things to get you up to speed on. First of all, tonight we're going to give away a couple of copies of Christmas Chaos, the McFoley book. You can call in tonight at 457-1065. When we come back, we're going to talk about what happened backstage at Nitro this past Monday. If you have not listened to the hotline or read the internet, you'll want to stay tuned. Scott Steiner, Diamond Dallas Page, they didn't get along very well.
No, not at all.
We'll be right back. You're listening to The Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country 106.5.
Back on The Wrestling Guys, brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz.
Put a tiger on your team.
See, we got like this little tiger bank in here right now.
That is. That's neat.
What the heck is this? It's like old...
I don't even want to know what that is.
This looks like
really old candy.
It's like old Whoppers or something. I don't know what the heck
Yeah, they look like little candy-covered Whoppers.
Like something.
It's probably from last Easter.
Brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. Put a tiger on your team. Call 1-800-INJURED with locations everywhere in case you just want to walk in.
Everywhere.
Absolutely.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And 1-800-INJURED is their phone number. I am Shawn Stidham. Willie F. joining us here. Julia behind the board. Let's talk about this past Monday, what happened backstage at Nitro. And if you've been following the stories, there's been some tension between Scott Steiner and Diamond Dallas Page for some time. An incident happened a few months back where Scott Steiner and Kimberly exchanged some words, It got a little physical, I guess. And that was basically what led Kimberly to quit WCW, according to Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
So since DDP has come back to the company, he has refused to work against Scott Steiner. They were booked on a couple of different house shows, and DDP said, look, I'm not doing it. In one case, Kevin Nash had to be called off a weekend that he had planned with his kids at Disneyland to cover for DDP at these house shows. So this past Monday, I'm sure a lot of you saw it, the promo Scott Steiner cut in the ring, where he mentioned he wanted to face DDP at the pay-per-view. And, of course, he made some not too flattering comments about DDP's anatomy.
Well, yeah, he said that DDP needed to have a sex change.
Yeah, and grow some
because,
balls.
yeah, then he'd have some grape. So you can say grapefruit. They didn't have enough cojones. Cojones, because, you know, I'm sure there's no moral Mexicans listening right now.
Spanish Fly's the only one I know of. And
That phone is lighting up now. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Julia, say cojones.
Why?
I just think there's a need right now for people wanting... There you go. I think people like that. Anyway, so Scott cuts the promo.
You've just like helped some 13-year-old's fantasy file.
Stop.
Yeah, he's going to get some closet time on that. Anyway, so DDP goes over to the gorilla position right behind the curtain. Scott Steiner... What's so funny?
What?
The gorilla position? You never heard of that? Okay, for those of you that don't know, the gorilla position is the area right by the curtain backstage because that's where Gorilla Monsoon used to
She's calling Andy to see if they can use that later on.
Never mind. Anyway,
okay.
So, but Gorilla Monsoon used to sit there.
Yeah.
And out of respect for him, that's kind of
Call
known as the gorilla position. So,
right.
Anyway,
I've heard that before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these newcomers.
I know.
Anyway, so DDP goes over. He confronts Scott Steiner. They get into an altercation. By all accounts, Scott Steiner got the better of the fight, and DDP and Kevin Nash.
Well, duh.
Yeah. But DDP and Kevin Nash then just left the building, despite the fact they were booked on throughout the night. And so, right now, there's different opinions. Is it a work? Is it a shoot? I mean, we all know DDP loved Brian Pillman. If you were at Pillman 2000, he mentioned it in the ring. He absolutely loved the work Pillman did. And Pillman was famous for those worked shoots. But a lot of people say, hey, this is legitimate. You know, fight.
Scott Steiner has been known to not be the type of guy that would go along with something like that, first of all.
Right.
And then you have the whole thing with Kimberly. Are you telling me they planned it so far way back when that it's now coming to fruition? I don't think so.
If you think back, 6 months ago when Scott Steiner made the comment about Steve Austin and The Rock and Ric Flair, and Scott Steiner was suspended for those. So Steiner has a history of going off the handle.
Absolutely.
And this looks like this was another case of this past Monday. If these three guys, if this is all legitimate, these three guys need to be dealt with because, number one, you cannot have Scott Steiner going off the script that far and just absolutely... I mean, let's face it, we all know what the pay-per-view is going to be. WCW's released that.
Right.
And now he's trying to change the actual main event of a pay-per-view without consulting anybody on a shoot interview. And so you can't have it.
Right, I agree.
DDP cannot respond that way. He had every right to be ticked off, but you just cannot go over and start attacking some guy when you're in the middle of a live show. And then for Kevin Nash to get involved and him leave with DDP, despite the fact they were booked into the storylines, Ed Ferrara, Terry Taylor had to scramble to try and come up with something to save that show. That was one reason you saw Mike.
And let's be honest. Why did Kevin Nash leave with DDP? Come on.
Because Diamond Dallas Page, who's his good friend,
Eric Bischoff.
And who's rumored to buy WCW?
That'd be Eric Bischoff for $100, Alex.
Congratulations. Now, for $200, what would happen if Eric Bischoff buys the company and Kevin Nash is good friends with DDP?
Well, Kevin Nash would probably get a nice little push.
That's what I'm thinking. And Mr. Nash has a contract coming up in about a year?
Yeah, about a year.
About a year or so. Anyway, and what I said today on the hotline, I think that if they come down, if WCW management comes down and has some disciplinary action, I'll tend to believe more that this is a legitimate shoot than a work. However, then you think, well, if WCW actually was to do something to discipline their workers, I would think that's more of a work because they haven't done anything in the past to come down on anybody else.
That's true. Well, they fired Hoovy.
Yeah, that was
about it.
That took a lot.
Didn't they eventually have to? There was no other alternative but to do that.
It took Hoovy getting doped up and being a naked Jesus in the hotel lobby.
They had no other choice.
Right, and then one other guy, I guess, who caused some problems this past Monday as well for WCW was Sid, who was scheduled to be part of Nitro and part of Thunder, but Sid says his arm hurts from the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And Sid was actually the main event at the Sin pay-per-view in Indianapolis. That was going to be a four-way dance, but now they've taken Sid out of that because they just don't know how Sid's going to be.
And from what I read, like the doctor told Sid, well, yeah, you're going to be in a little pain. It's your first time back.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, you've not been working out. You've been storing nuts in those cheeks. I mean, you could tell.
Is the guy looking old or what?
He's looking old, you know, and he's looking
Is
just...
that because he is old?
Well,
yeah, probably. That probably has a lot to do with
maybe
it.
that might have just a little
But I mean,
bit to do
his
with it.
face is looking fat. I think he brought that up,
yeah,
too.
He looks horrible.
Yeah.
He's not the dominating presence that he once was.
He's not as good as he was when he was Sid Justice.
No, not at all.
Oh, the dominant force he was then. But again, this is another example of Sid's track record. And Gary Michael Capetta, when he was on about a month ago, was very open about, he doesn't care that much for Sid. But Sid has always been told, as long as you have that look, there will always be a job for you in this business.
That's right.
We know what Sid's track record has been in the last 10 years, and yet WCW giving him another chance to just kind of, save them,
come in
I guess,
for
is what
one
he thought.
time, and the bad thing is now with Sid being gone and probably being on the shelf for a while, or wanting to be on the shelf for a while, that just buries him. It buries Sid, him. I mean, you have Scott Steiner beat him at the pay-per-view.
Right.
Okay. He taps out. He gives up. And then he's not seen from again for about another month?
It's very weak. And I said this, I think that this past Sunday's Starrcade, number one, that was the weakest pay-per-view in the history of Starrcade.
I didn't watch it.
And you had a great point, is that, this used to be the granddaddy of them all.
Sure it did.
And it was. You had Harley Race and Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair a couple of times, Ronnie Garvin, Ric Flair in a steel cage, Ric Flair and Vader. I mean, all the different main events, Hulk Hogan and Sting. This has always been a very prestigious pay-per-view. And this past Sunday, I've seen better Thunders this year.
Yeah, it's true.
You think you might watch the pay-per-view besides us? I mean, you said you did.
No.
I mean,
I didn't know. I didn't watch the pay-per-view.
I don't know if anybody did.
I didn't.
So you didn't watch the pay-per-view
No,
either.
I didn't.
I mean, I watched bits and pieces of it.
You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Look, wait, hold on.
He's reaching into his pocket.
No, I have it right here.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
look at this.
Wait, what? Where'd you get that?
I can't see.
Julia, what is this?
This is a $100 bill.
This is a $100 bill. Put it
Yes.
right there, okay?
Okay, it's on the table.
This is my bet.
Okay, your bet is what?
You're placing a bet.
I'm placing
Can you
a
just
bet.
give me that money? I don't know.
No, I'm placing a
This is
bet.
so not fair.
I'm placing a bet that
Okay.
absolutely no one out there can bring me a video by the end of the show.
Okay.
By
They have
9
an hour-
o'clock.
They have an hour and a half to get down here. Bring me a videotape of Starrcade, and I will verify that that Starrcade's on there. This past Starrcade.
So
You mean like
somebody
something that they taped at home?
Yeah,
that they taped
they
Starrcade.
taped Starrcade.
They bring
Okay,
it down
taped
here. They show you the tape. Now, it's going to be the first person. If we get 2 or 3 people, the first person that can come down here.
And I have to verify though that it's Starrcade, and I guarantee I'll give them $100.
$100.
I mean, I have to watch the tape and make sure that Starrcade's on there.
$100?
No, because I guarantee that no one watched that.
Okay.
And I also guarantee that if they did watch it, no one kept it on tape.
If you
This'll
want
be
to
interesting.
come down here tonight, 101 Pine Street, we're in the Wiley's building in the Oregon District. Come down, ring the buzzer, and we'll verify this tape.
Yeah.
And we'll give you $100.
If you have a cell phone,
right.
I bring it to call up because otherwise we don't know you're at the door.
Right, that's true.
absolutely. I think next year for Starrcade, a better main event. And I don't know who they would put against this person, but I think Julia should be in the main event of Starrcade.
Oh, yeah, that would work really well.
We've got the ladies' clinic coming up, which you said you would go to.
That's right.
I am, yeah.
You'll go down January
all about that.
27th.
Wait a minute. Did you call down there and register yet?
No.
You haven't called
You
yet?
Why
guys-
not?
I thought you were
wait,
taking care of
we're
it.
gonna go-
You're the one that has all the connections.
Wait, we're getting ready for a break,
Yeah.
right? We're getting ready for a break.
Oh, yeah,
right.
in a couple minutes.
We're going to call down. Let's call Les Thatcher's Main Event Pro Wrestling Camp.
All right.
We'll call him on the air.
There'll be someone there.
Because we want to make sure Julia doesn't weasel her way
Yeah,
into this.
and we know that
weasel
you're
my
that
way
type of
out of it.
person. So right here on the air, I'm demanding. I'm demanding tonight, because you never know. I might not be back next week. So I'm demanding tonight. I'm demanding tonight that you call down there and you register. Okay.
Okay.
As soon as we get back.
Let's take a
for
break.
our audience.
Let's take a break at Les Thatcher's camp on the phone. We're going to sign you up on the air for the free ladies wrestling camp next
right.
month.
Okay.
There's no reason you shouldn't do this. It's free. It's on a weekend. We can get you off
It's a
work.
perfect Christmas gift for you from us.
Thank you guys
You're welcome.
so
You're more than
much.
welcome. You're listening to the Wrestling Guys. Julia signs up for wrestling camp when we come back. Wasn't that an Ernest movie, I think?
I think it was, actually.
Buckeye Country 106.5. We'll be right back. Back on the Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5, brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. Put a tiger on your team. I took your line, Willie.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Call 1-800-INJURED with offices all around the Dayton area.
Hey, we talked at the top of the show that OneWrestling.com was reporting that the Road Dogg has asked off for an indefinite amount of time for personal reasons to take care of some issues. Jim Ross is on WWF.com reporting that he has been suspended.
Really?
So it's not as OneWrestling.com, it was kind of like Road Dogg knows he has a problem, he's going to get some personal help, and he's just going to take some time off. Jim Ross is saying it's a suspension. It's indefinite, and they'll have more later as the story becomes available.
Well, how can they suspend him for a gimmick that they gave him?
I don't know if they're suspending. I don't think.
How does that happen?
Well, you know what? Did they give him the gimmick, or you remember, the WWF was making gimmicks out of people's true personalities.
Can you suspend people for gimmicks?
I don't know.
Well, if you live the gimmick, yeah.
If you what?
If you live the gimmick, I mean, look at Scott Hall. I mean, that guy is certainly, he was played off as a drunk and everything else, and that's what he ended up being.
There's going to be like a whole bunch of Scott Hall fans like right outside the door as soon as we get out of here tonight, and you're going first.
That Road Dogg must have made some real mistakes.
That's what it appears to be.
Okay.
Now, you can't back out of this anymore.
No.
Let's get the HWA on the phone. January the 27th, the Heartland Wrestling Association is conducting a free ladies wrestling clinic.
That's right.
At the Main Event Pro Wrestling Camp down in Cincinnati. Absolutely free. Only catches, you have to be a woman.
You have to be a woman.
I don't qualify. Willie doesn't qualify.
And Julia may.
Well,
we don't have any verification of that yet.
But Julia being the only female
that's right. We said
wrestling guy.
We did say woman. We didn't say lady.
Right, exactly.
Right.
She is female. We'll leave it at that. Being the only female person of the Wrestling Guys, she is going to go down and take part in this camp. And so, go ahead and get him on the phone.
Kurt's on the phone.
Kurt's on the phone. Kurt, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing just fine. Now, Kurt is the webmaster for the Heartland Wrestling Association, and just I think he does everything down in that office.
He's the master of his own domain.
And the HWA's domain as well.
And the HWA domain.
Clever.
Thank you very much.
It's the first clever thing you've said all night.
Thank you very much, Julie.
So, Kurt, tell us a little bit about this camp, and then let's get Julia signed up.
All right. Well, we've got Malaya Hosaka coming in. The night before the camp, we're actually going to be at the Grand Victoria Casino for a show, and she is taking on Helena Heavenly that night. And the next day, the afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, January 27th, she and Les Thatcher will be hosting a free ladies wrestling clinic. Any valet, manager, wrestler, lady, fan, anybody's invited to come down and take part in that.
And I can never get her name right. What is her name again?
Malaya Hosaka.
And tell the people a little bit about it, because she's like from WLW, right?
She is, she works for Harley Race. And,
right.
She is actually, I think, Harley's ladies champion right now, and has been in the business, at least 10 years. Been around quite a while. She's a very, very, very competent lady worker, and is going to come in and train some of our girls.
It sounds like a great opportunity, but we talked a couple weeks ago about getting Julia involved, and in talking with you, Julia just has kind of been putting this off.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I know. She was going to call last week, I thought.
See, exactly.
See,
I bet you Kirk even waited by the phone after we got off the air.
I made a point of sitting here all night waiting for her to call. And
God, Julia, how could you do that to him?
Well, I just thought you guys were going to do it. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Do we have to hold your hand for everything?
Yes.
What you want me to? You want me to call? Hi, this is Julia, and I can't do that.
Sound like that.
I can't do that.
I didn't know that I had to call. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make him wait.
Gotta be
there.
female.
I've been here. Actually, I haven't left the office. I actually haven't left the office since last week.
See?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
All right, well, let's have Kirk. Let's have you talk to Julia.
All right, Julia. What's your last name, Julia?
I tell you what.
We can't do that.
On the air.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Julia. You go talk to Kurt, and when you're done, sign up with Kurt.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and finish up with Kurt in a second.
And Kurt, what's the worst thing that can happen to Julia down there?
Well, I don't know. It depends on if Malaya gets her hands on her or not.
All right.
Well, I want to have fun, so I want to see some action.
So send your send your applications for board operator.
District, come on. I mean, the store down the street. I mean,
that's right. All right. Well, Kirk will take Julia's information.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, Kirk.
No problem.
All right.
We'll talk to you in just a minute.
That sounds like it's actually going to be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And it's free.
It's absolutely free. And, there's been these different camps in the past, and I think a lot of times the ladies, and we certainly have a lot that listen to the show and call the hotline, they're kind of scared because, they don't want to get in there with a bunch of men, or they feel like they're going to be overpowered or whatnot. this is like the Martha Stewart version of a wrestling camp. It's all
I
female.
agree. I think it's going to be a great idea. And, they have a couple other things coming up, too. Yeah, they have all those free shows in January coming up. They have the Grand Victoria Casino on
26th.
Yep. And also, what,
Julia?
Did you want to talk to Kurt again?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Are you done? You're done
It
already?
was really quick, yeah.
That
I'm
was
done.
very fast.
Well, yeah. Go ahead. Put Kirk back on.
Put Kurt back on. Okay. That was quick.
Kirk, are you still there? Kirk?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Kirk, I didn't know you were that fast with women, but, that's okay.
You know what? It took me this long. I waited all week.
That fast, there just must not be that much to Julia. It must be very shallow, kind of not.
I am not shallow.
Yes, I mean, since we got Kirk on, Kirk, why don't you go ahead and tell us some of the other things going on with the HWA?
Well, like I said, we've got the Grand Victoria show coming up January 26th. Also, January the 6th, Saturday, we've got our next show in Blanchester, Ohio. That will be starting at, I think, 7:30 bell time. And then after that, we start back with our free HWA showcase shows on every Tuesday night. January 9th is the first one again after the holiday break. And those have been pretty exciting so far.
Yeah, and then now, I don't know, can you go ahead and make the official announcement on Pillman on the air now? Already or not?
I think the dates are set.
Okay.
It's May, I believe, 23rd for the Hildebrand camp.
Right.
And 24th for the Pillman show.
And, of course,
that's the only information we really have at this point to release.
Okay.
But we'll keep you posted.
That sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, give one word to Helena and the guys for this camp whenever it happens with Julie, okay?
I sure will.
Shoot it.
Yeah, it's a shoot.
Okay.
Complete
we want
shoot.
a complete shoot.
Kurt, thanks a lot.
Hey, no
and,
problem.
Best of luck to you guys down there.
If anybody else wants to come sign up for the camp, for the ladies' clinic, tell them to give us a call, 513-771-1650. We'll be glad to sign them up.
Right.
Sounds great.
You really want people to sign up before they just show up with their gear.
Yes, please do.
All right.
So we know how many to expect. And if you want to get on the website, you can do that too, hwaonline.com.
All right.
And they can email you through the website too, I think.
Yes, they can.
That's worth going there right now.
I think so.
All right. Kurt, thanks a lot
Hey,
for
no
your
problem.
help, man.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Kirk.
See ya.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Julia, it's documented. It was on the air. It's on
That's
tape. You cannot get out of this.
I'm stuck now.
There's
stuck.
at least 50 people that are listening to the show right now that know that you called.
More
and
than
signed
that.
up.
Thank you very much. Give us
Are you
some
sure?
credit. Yes.
There's more than 50?
I've seen numbers.
Yes. Oh,
Anyway.
I'm gonna get like
Come
stage
on.
fright.
That's okay, yeah. But I'm going to call Mary Fleenor tomorrow, make sure she is scheduled off that day, because
right.
I know that's what the next excuse will
Right.
be. I've got to work.
I have to work. No, I don't have to work. I don't
2
have
to 4.
It's cool.
I'm sure, you know what? We have a lot of female callers to call up, and I think that you should go down there and give them the moral support, to go down and to join you.
She needs to do more than moral support. She needs to get in the ring, take some back bumps.
I wanna
It could
get
be,
in the ring.
we've had bus trips down to Pillman before. You can, take your pacer and, load it up, with, 5 women, and head on down.
And you're volunteering to drive, right?
No,
Well,
I'm
see,
not driving. I'm not driving that.
I'm going to have to get directions, because otherwise I don't know how to get there.
Oh, gee.
See,
Go
so-
to the website, hwaonline.com, or we'll give you directions. You are not getting out of this.
No, you're not.
No matter what you try to do,
way.
you are not getting out of this.
I don't want to. I think it'll be fun.
And the
I
good
think
thing
it'll be
is?
fun.
What's
What?
that? The good thing is they have video cameras down there, too.
I think
Oh,
we're
no,
also
no,
going
no,
to
no,
take,
no,
we're
no,
going
no,
to
no,
take
no, no, no.
the video
Yes, they
camera.
do.
We're also going to take the audio, take a tape recorder.
Yes.
And we'll tape Julia in the ring. Also talk to her afterwards. Maybe talk to Helena and Les and find out if Julia has a future in the
Wait
wrestling
a minute.
business.
Do you think there's a way that we can mic her and just
I'm
tape
sure
it that
we
way?
could. I'm sure we could.
I would love to. Yes. I would love to hear that.
We will mic Julia in the ring and play it back
That
here
would
the
so
next
not
week.
be cool.
That's
That
our
would
new.
so not be
That's
cool.
bumper stuff right there. Oh,
I mean, we're going to change the bumper music after the first year.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think
my
it's great.
eyes. That would be great.
Oh, that hurts. I thought it was a trampoline. That actually hurts when you hit the mat.
Thanks a lot, guys. You're making me feel
That'll
so
be
much
good.
better.
And
That'll be good.
maybe you can go to the HWA. Maybe you can come back up here and work for UCW or OCW. This could be the start of something
big for you.
Can you actually see me as a wrestler? I mean, please.
No, you're right.
Okay,
You're right.
thank
All
you.
right.
457-1065. Let's take a couple phone calls. We
All
haven't
right,
done
sounds
that
good.
yet. Julia, who do we
Okay.
have on the line?
We have Andy on the line from Kettering.
Hey, Andy, how you doing? Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
I just had a couple questions, a couple shout-outs.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, are we doing shout-outs?
We can do shout-outs.
I banned them last week.
It's Christmas.
This is-
All
Yeah,
right, that's
it
right.
is
It's a holiday
Well, you know,
shout-out season.
Some people can't afford Christmas gifts, so instead they want to give a shout-out.
We
So
should
that's what
sell.
we're gonna
We should sell shout-outs like gift certificates. You have
What's
to
up,
buy
Andy?
them.
Okay, first off, I wanted you to read my color of the year that I sent in.
I've got like a giant stack here,
that's a huge
and I
stack.
can't go through it. Who's your caller of the year?
You can just,
Woodchuck, okay?
Woodchuck is your caller of the year.
I just want to make sure.
He's got a couple in there, yeah. What else?
He's got at least 2 or 3 votes now, so it's unlocked up. He's the color of the year.
I don't know if 2 or 3 is going to be enough to win it. I mean,
no.
this Fly, Fly's a very popular guy, and he seems to be running away with that again.
Okay, and then my other question was about the SmackDown challenge.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you think Gore, Bush, if this would have been all over the whole election sooner if they'd have done the SmackDown challenge.
I like that question.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know.
No. How would that have affected the election being over?
Well, more young voters could have voted for one candidate instead of the other.
I don't know if that would have... I think that for both of those guys, there was more to lose there than gain, because you were asking them to get into a wrestling ring, and when they do a debate, it's very controlled. There's maybe 500 people in the auditorium. It's all invited guests. In this case, you're putting them in a wrestling arena in front of 15,000, 20,000 people. I just don't think that there was a lot for either of them to gain by doing that, especially if one of them had flubbed up at all. It would have been all over the news, and that could have been disastrous for the campaign. Either candidate maybe would have lost by much more than... Well, Gore's the only one that lost, obviously, but he would have lost by maybe much more had he screwed up. Or Bush, if he had flubbed up, he would have lost by a big amount, too.
All right, I just had a couple of shout-outs to give.
Make them quick.
Okay, I'm going to give one to Courtney, the Woodchuck, Tim Foley.
Oh, yeah, you said a couple. That's it. You're
like
gone.
3.
Bye-bye. You said a couple.
You said a couple.
You did.
You said a
You can't do that.
We said you could do shout-outs. You said you needed a couple. We said, okay.
This is the holiday season, but, you can't.
You
can't just do that.
Exactly.
It's, that's like someone taking, the last PlayStation 2.
Which, no, never mind. 457-1065. Let's take one more call before we get to a break.
The Undertaker guy.
Undertaker guy, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, my question is about Vince. Who's going to be on his side, and is Shane going to go on his mom's side?
Good question. Probably that's how it will break down. I expect Shane McMahon to come back at any time, given how the storyline's playing out. My guess is just to even it out that Shane would go on to Linda's side.
And she's going to have the Undertaker, Rock, and Austin.
I would imagine, yeah.
I think Trish Stratus is going to be the new Mrs. McMahon.
You mentioned that to me.
Did I not?
You mentioned that to me, and it looks like that's what's going to start happening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to make a challenge with somebody.
What was that?
I want to make a challenge with somebody.
Okay.
A challenge?
Yeah. A death match between me and the Spanish Fly.
I don't know if we can have that. I mean, it's holiday season. We can't talk about death matches. I mean,
death matches.
That's just no. It's holiday. We're all supposed to have peace, love, and joy, and no, so.
Okay, that's all I had to say.
All right, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it. One thing, people wondering, well, why did Mick Foley get jumped and attacked and everything? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Mick Foley's wife, Colette, is pregnant. They're expecting their 3rd child, so congratulations to them. And she's due really any time now, I guess. So he's going to take some time off with her and be around and be there for when the child's born. So I think it's a great thing, and best of luck to him. Although there is some talk that Foley may come back early for a Royal Rumble appearance. But is this all going to lead to Mick Foley getting back in the ring, you think?
I hope not.
We talked about this last week too, and I really hope not too. As much as I really enjoy Mick Foley, even though he was starting getting really grating as a commissioner, I'm sorry he was. I mean, the puns were just getting to be a little bit too much, and I don't think they were allowing Mick Foley to go the way that he could go. Now, when he gets angry in the ring, he's absolutely amazing. But I hope not, because I don't think that he could get in there and work a match like he used to.
I agree. I think the way that he was playing that commissioner role, they did everything with it they possibly could.
Right.
There just wasn't any other direction left to go. And it's kind of like, Willie Mays playing that final year for the Mets. You just kind of hope, don't get back in the ring and embarrass yourself, because he does look out of shape.
Sure.
Not that he was ever in great shape.
He himself has said that he is at least 30 pounds before he's in bad shape. He has to lose 30 pounds before I think he said he was in bad shape.
And you take a look at, you can tell by the way he walks. You look at his hand and see the physical toll he's had. The guy has another kid on the way. He doesn't need to take any more chair shots. He certainly isn't going to take any more Hell in the Cell-like bumps. So call it a career. It's been nice. Come back.
But he still took a chair shot. He took a chair shot on Monday.
It was kind of weak chair shot. But
a
great chair shot.
No.
You think that must have been the longest he's ever went without blading? From January of this year to December.
Yeah, Mick Foley needs a good bloodletting every once in a while.
Just to kind of, feel
Yeah,
good about himself,
purge the soul.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, your phone call is 457-1065. You're listening to the Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country, 106.5.
Christmas music, you like that?
Wrestling Guys, I'm Willie F. Shawn Stidham's here. And you give me that.
I think it's
Did you want like
cute.
Paul McCartney's Jolly Christmas?
No, please. That is the worst song
cutest
of
thing.
all
Now
time.
listen to this. Here's, that is so cute.
Okay.
Julie,
all right.
Julie, this is a wrestling talk show.
Yeah.
But it's the holiday season.
It's the
Couldn't you like
holidays,
have in there and
but
like have some elves getting chair shots or something?
By the way,
All right.
we got in here and we're going through a lot of the mail. We got a lot of nominations for the Listener Awards, and we get a Christmas card.
Yeah.
And a couple weeks ago, we had the guy, he called in from Florida, the tie-dye guy.
Right.
And I kind of thought it was, I kind of thought it was a rib at first.
I did too.
But no, it's postmarked from Florida, right? Yeah, West Palm Beach. And there he is. I'm trying to think the best way to describe him.
I don't remember if I've ever seen him though.
Think of a blonde, older Mike Awesome.
Now wait a minute.
That's
Now,
the best
where's
way
the
to-
postmark? And none of the postmarks from Palm Beach.
Right.
Shit.
So the guy's legit, but
right.
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So the tie-dye guy.
Yeah. So one of our Christmas cards we got.
So I'm gonna have to look for it because he says he like goes to like all the Raws and SmackDowns in Florida, and he always wears the shirt.
And he is the tie-dye guy.
He is the
so
tie-dye
has
guy.
his own postcard, and appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Actually, do you remember you've seen all those posters where it says tie-dye guy and it's like the arrows pointing
Yeah,
down?
I never paid attention. I guess
Now you're gonna have to. That's him.
He's turned it into a gimmick.
All right.
His own little postcards.
That's good. But yeah, thank you for that.
Don't forget, you can call the Wrestling Guys hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 285-0991, brought to you by our good friends at THQ, which is sending us some stuff to give away next week for the Listener Awards.
Rock on.
So SmackDown 2 for the Sony PlayStation, No Mercy for Nintendo 64, and, of course,
The Evil Dead.
the Evil Dead video game, which
Thank
Willie
you.
is all giddy about.
Really? Am I getting?
That's why I say you're giddy.
Are you giddy?
You and I have to talk
I'm
about
euphoric.
That's
Where's that thesaurus? I need to find something else. All right.
Anyway, 457-1065,
Hey, by the way,
yeah.
on the hotline,
Yes.
do you think are you going to give away like the the Raw results because they're taping it on Thursday, aren't they?
It's like being Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
You want to give those away?
Well, no, technically, you see, because this happened Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll get the results late Friday night, Saturday, which
Right.
is your watch on the hotline.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I leave that up to you.
Well, maybe we'll have to put that up to a vote.
No, I'll tell you what we'll do. What
No,
we'll do,
all right.
do the normal news update.
Okay.
And you don't normally do questions or shout-outs anyway, which is fine.
I've been trying to do that.
But then after you do the news, kind of give a little warning. Say, hey,
Okay.
if you don't want to know the results, hang up now. A lot of people may not watch Raw this week because
You're right.
it's Christmas. They're going to be
You're
out of town.
absolutely right.
We have a duty to tell them what happened.
That's right. All right. It's my duty.
It's your
Julie,
obligation.
it's my duty.
It is.
It's
And
my
this
obligation.
is the first.
Yes.
This is the first Sunday in how long without a pay-per-view? It seems like every single week
I
for like the
know.
last.
No. The gift of Christmas is on.
That's a free pay-per-view. That's a
Oh,
preview,
I'm sorry.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's on.
You might get lucky. They may show another version of that Dennis Rodman pay-per-view.
Oh,
So-
that's right.
So
that might be
if
on.
you're hankering for a pay-per-view this Sunday,
thank God.
you might be able to watch the iGeneration
So
pay-per-view.
you won't have withdrawals now, right?
No, I won't.
Okay, good. As
Thank
long as
you.
you're happy.
Well, thank you. All right.
I was being really sarcastic.
Julia just wants to make Willie's happy. Let's go to the phone line, 457-1065. Who's up next?
Okay, we have...
Julia, go to the microphone and talk into that. Thank you very much, dear. That's what that's for.
Chuck, ha ha.
It is
Kid
your
Chuck
friend.
from somewhere is on the phone.
Kid Chuck from somewhere. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Oh, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Hey, is there any truth to the rumor that Survivor is moving to Thursday so they have to compete with you guys?
That's
You
see,
know
that's absolutely
We
true.
weren't going to talk about
Yeah,
that, but since you brought it up, yeah, it's true.
All right. I just thought that.
Make sure you call.
But actually, they were on at 9 o'clock, I think, weren't they?
I know it was 8.
Was
No,
it 8?
yeah, they were on at
against us
8.
for a while. Yeah. So we booted them out.
Yeah.
We got rid of them.
Okay,
Fools.
and I also heard about Rick Steiner was going to be the one to be the mystery man at the pay-per-view.
That right?
And, that's almost confirmed now. Is there any chance they could change that if Booker T's ready in time?
I don't know if Booker T is ready in time. What I think will happen, if this is all a work between Diamond Dallas Page and Scott Steiner, that will be your pay-per-view main event next month.
Right.
I don't think it is a work, so I don't know if... The Rick Steiner in the main event of pay-per-view is extremely weak. Rick Steiner has not been over for about 12 years. What was the name of his little thumb friend? We used to draw the Spike. It was Spike. You remember, like, back when he was in the varsity club? He used to draw that little thumb puppet. It was Spike. That was the last time Rick Steiner was over.
That was the last time, you think?
I think so,
I think so. And plus, I mean, Booker T would probably have to go through some bleach or something because the guy that was in the straitjacket was obviously a white guy.
And the thing that they may have said when they first said straitjacket, I thought, because the last time...
Oh, wasn't that great?
Booker,
he's in a straitjacket. Well, how is he swinging his arms then?
No, really, that's what I thought.
It all makes sense in the whole world.
And Shawn, on Monday night, Fox 4 touchdowns, I won my fantasy football league.
Did you really?
So, yeah.
Oh, Shawn.
Oh, poor Shawn.
I lost by
That's
6
sad.
points. 6 points. You know, it was like a big deal. It's like a lot of money. So I was torn. Well, congratulations to you, Kid Show.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, you still got, you got XFL coming up, but I'm sure you can join
your
your
fantasy XFL draft.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, speaking of one more thing about WCW Diamond Dallas Page this past Monday, apparently he tried to make amends with Mark Madden. Madden was suspended last week over comments he made about DDP on Monday Nitro. And I guess Page went up to Madden and said, hey, look, it's Christmas, we don't have to be mad at each other. Put his hand out to shake it, and Madden just kind of threw up his hands and walked away.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess a lot of the guys in the back really, I guess, applauded. I mean, because Page's ego apparently has not been in check since he's come back to work. And so with Madden doing that, a lot of the guys got new respect for Mark Madden, which for Mark Madden, that's a good thing, I guess.
How can you have respect for Mark Madden?
Yeah,
I know. Now, you've met DDP before.
Oh, yeah.
And I've met DDP before, and the guy's always... Did you think he had a big ego? I mean, seriously.
Anybody that's in that business,
Yeah.
in our business, whether it be radio, wrestling, if you're in the entertainment business at all, you have an ego.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have some, but...
Yeah. But I think that sometimes maybe he has a higher opinion of himself than others do.
Okay,
You know what
but,
I mean?
but at least, didn't he come across to you, like, shaking your hand and everything? And,
Sure.
I mean, to me, it was almost like, he sat down. He talked. I mean, B.J. Bethel interviewed him too, and
Right.
he was like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Page seems like a great guy, but I think in this case, I think that, and I'll give you an example. The comments that Mark Madden made, if they're true, and I think Madden is being honest with this, where Page went up to the Natural Born Thrillers when they were going to cut a promo on each other, and Page had the idea, hey, you come at me and say, Page, I know you're 45, but you look like you're 35 and you wrestle like you're 25. Madden said it best. That is not a heel promo. If that is true, that was Page trying to put himself more over, and kind of have his back scratched a little bit by being like he's 35.
And trust me, I'm not a huge Diamond Dallas Page fan to begin with, but I don't know. Do you see him doing that?
I have a lot of respect for the guy because the guy started at a much later age than anybody else would have.
Like 35, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
He worked his tail off.
Right.
Wait, are you serious? I think I know what you guys are talking about. Apparently, somebody is downstairs with a videotape of this past Sunday's Starrcade.
Really?
Now, if you're just joining us early in the program,